Hello! Welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 12th, 2026. But no matter when you find this reading, especially if it is further down the road, there is a message that is trying to be channeled through by your guides and hopefully bring you any kind of information that may guide you on your own journey. Now, you are more than welcome to dive into the timestamp below within the description box, so that way you can go ahead and get started into the reading. As that way, as I'm getting the intro out of the way, you're not having to rewatch over the same kind of information, especially if you are someone that is subscribed and you watch these videos regularly. Now, always remember, if today is your birthday on this channel, I always want to make sure that my listeners know that they deserve to celebrate and to thank them for making it another trip around the world today. You matter, and you do deserve to find something to celebrate, even if today is not your birthday. Now, leading into the disclaimers, I cannot give professional advice. However, I can reveal any kind of guidance that is coming through from your guides into the cards and oracles below, or if I feel like there's a personal experience here that I feel might help or assist someone, so that way they can see how a person may deal with that kind of situation. But ultimately, the choice is yours to do with what you will with this information. This is not the only option available for you. And this is just something, if you found that you were uncertain and just needed a little bit more clarification, that's what this ultimately is used for. And the wheel is always in your hands, so make sure to drive it very carefully so that way you don't, turn down the wrong path or pick up something that wasn't really meant for you to pick up. So if this reading is not resonating for you, there are a couple of reasons why it may not. First off, it's probably not for you. So don't try to click something and try to make it a part of you if it has nothing to do with your certain circumstances that you may be going through. Secondly, you may be really close to someone, whether that be a friend, a family member, a relationship of any kind, and your guides are using you like a radio signal, so that way you can channel this musical message off to them. And then lastly, you can take this as a tool to add to your belt. So when you find that you are coming across any of these situations, you will be able to deal with them a lot more better with a sense of confidence. But ultimately, I am excited for this reading. So let's go ahead and dive into this reading so we can focus on what astrology influence is actually coming out today. Now, we are leading into Pisces energy, and so this is going to be heavily impacting our relationships, how intimate we are with others, how well we are in tune with our intuition and being able to be empathetic and pick up on any kind of psychic downloads that our guides are trying to get across to us. But ultimately, this is a very compassionate energy that is trying to come through, so that way you can be more compassionate to yourself and compassionate to others. You do not have to have this astrology sign for it to resonate. This is just the one that is heavily coming in when you tap into this reading. Now, one of the key things about Pisces energy is if you have felt like you've had a lot of inspiration coming through your life, whether that be at work or at home, it is so important that you find ways to express it through your own creativity, your creative outlets, so that way it doesn't stagnate or get blocked. It's like you need to be able to express it, so there's this constant state of flow. And this can also be a sign, because we are reaching a very big holiday for our romantic lovers. So others who are not really big into Valentine's Day, or if they're just not in a position where they can step into a relationship of some kind, you may feel as if you kind of need to take some time to yourself, maybe a little bit of solitude, or just so that way you can identify with your own emotions and be able to separate yourself from another person's emotions, so you don't accidentally pick up something that is not yours. And then finding forgiveness for yourself and others as if you were a child who didn't know better. And so Pisces is coming in if you are at a crossroad or a position in your life where it's been really hard to let go of something someone said, something someone did, or even something you may have said or did yourself. You need to be able to forgive yourself so you can start moving forward and allow for more freedom and healing to come in. Because Pisceans, they are healers, and they are artists, and they are very gentle. So finding ways for creative outlets. So if you are someone that likes to, channel your whatever you may be going through, whether you are extremely happy or if you are just going through a lot of grief or a lot of negative emotions that need to be channeled, healing that can be done through art. And this is an opportunity to see the physical world as an illusion. And I know that may seem kind of confusing, but if you allow yourself to see it as an illusion, then you can start seeing that the humans, the other people that you connect with, are spiritual beings having human experiences. Not everyone signed up for, what it is that they are doing. Or no, let me rephrase that. Some people believe that they don't make, these soul contracts when they enter into this human experience. And then others believe, yes, you know exactly what it is that you were picking up when you entered into this world. It's just, there's a reason why we have to forget what it is that we signed a contract to. Whether or not it was to pick up more loads this lifetime to make it easier for the collective, or to make your next journey easier. But you were allowed to have your own viewpoints on what you may take for that. But I know for me at least, once I started accepting that this was actually something I did want in my life, it made me reevaluate everything that has ever occurred in my life since I was a child, and be able to accept the good things, the bad things, the horrible things, the blessings, and just really build myself in a way where this is going to help others by me working through this. So you may find that you are on your own spiritual journey, trying to heal things so that way you can be of service to others as well. I know yesterday we talked about Aquarius, and Aquarius has been coming out quite a bit. And it makes sense for Aquarius and Pisces to want to kind of like tag along together, because it's wanting to feel empathetic, because you can feel that there are needs in the world, and now creating solutions to help with those needs. But allow yourself to create a little bit more freedom in your world. And when you have difficulties of allowing someone into your life, it's not so much that you need to invite them into your homes. What it is saying is you can love another individual with your heart without letting them into your home. Just practicing forgiveness and understanding that, we have all the baggage that has been given to us, and it's up to us ultimately to do what we need to with the baggage that we carry. But so you're feeling a lot today, guys. I will say that with this reading, there's a lot of emotions at play here. I'm going to go ahead and dive into your tarot cards after I kind of talk about the crystal. Since I am doing this a little bit differently, I felt called to do this way. So this is red jasper, which makes me think of the root chakra. So the need to ground yourself, especially when you are receiving a whole bunch of information from your guides and from other people around you, and needing to ground what is true to you. But red jasper is justice, strength, and stability. Red jasper works closely with the base chakra and heals any wounds surrounding injustice, grounding you back to earth. Red jasper alleviates chronic worry, clearing mental blockages to make space for balanced emotions and thoughts. Working with the base chakra, red jasper can also heal issues related to sex, inviting you to explore your sexuality in healthy ways, providing stability and protection. Red jasper balances yin and yang, expressing masculine and feminine energies that feel safe yet nourished. And then it has Mars in Aries and then Mars in Scorpio. There may be a lot of need to compete for certain things in your life or the relationships you have. And being able to channel that energy in an effective way where you are not burning through your resources or burning through, your own bridges, if that makes sense. It's like trying to keep bridges that are open without feeling the need to burn them down the instant that there's some insecurities that may come in our life. Now, normally I would do a focus and then a heart of the matter and then the subconscious, but today I felt like doing focus, career, because there's a lot that I'm feeling like we could talk about with the career, and I was on point whenever I started drawing for career. And then we'll look into the relationships and then our subconscious. But let me go ahead and unveil them. We have the Ten of Wands at the center. We have the Queen of Swords, Judgment, Three of Wands in reverse. We have Eight of Cups in our relationships. And then we have the Five of Swords in the back of our mind today. So I had to make sure Spirit really wanted me to talk about the career the way it did. 5 times it dropped these cards out of the deck. And I kept saying, no, Spirit, I wanted to make this a very quick reading like I normally would, so that way I'm not taking up my listeners' time. And Spirit came through and said, no, this message is going to go to who it needs to go to, regardless of what they may be working on in their life, what they may be doing, and they have the ability to pause the video and come back to it so that way they can finish this video if it gets to being very lengthy. So let me talk about the focus, because this focus is impacting your work, it's impacting your relationships, and it is impacting your dreams. The Ten of Wands usually comes out when you have been carrying a lot of extra responsibility on your shoulders. You may have felt a need in order to pick up something for someone because they may have not been in a really good situation to do what it is that they were doing. And then ultimately, you just kind of kept carrying it without ever putting it down. And this pairs with Judgment by saying that you understand your responsibilities. You understand that it is important for you to make it to the finish line because there is something that you are trying to build, to expand and grow on. And even though you want to call it quits, you were being persistent and taking it one step at a time and accepting that, this is a necessary part of your journey. The one thing that your guides do want you to kind of look at is if there is anything that you are carrying that you can lighten the load. And this can even, it may not necessarily talk about actually delegating, even though this would be a great thing to do, is delegating some of the things that you are carrying to another so that way you can, loosen the load. But this can also talk about your mind. What are you carrying with your mind right now that is having a lot of weight? And it's like you're trying to look around the bundle that you're carrying, but it's kind of hard to do that when your arm is in the way. And it's like you're trying to peek, but you know that it's like if I peek, I'm going to see how far it is for me to get to the other end, and I'm going to want to quit. So you're trying to prevent yourself from self-sabotage, if that makes sense. You're trying to prevent yourself from escaping from this situation. This also makes me think of somebody that is trying to return back home and they are getting ready for a battle. And just as the Nine of Wands shows somebody that has to create a barrier or a boundary around them, it's like because you know you are having to go somewhere, You are giving yourself the necessary boundaries in order to support yourself in case things get really bad. And this is going, like I said, this is probably going to be for a specific listener or listeners that may come across this reading. Now, the Queen of Swords understands the importance of boundaries, and that is why she is going to be the first one to meet you at the door before you get to where you need to go in your career, in your field. And let me just push these off to the side. And so you're thinking a lot about how can you really answer your call, your calling that is very unique to you. We have Judgment playing the trumpet in saying that there is an opportunity here to come back from something that you may have thought was, you did the work here. That is what I do want you to know, is you did the work, and it's like you're getting ready for rest. And once you get ready for that rest after you reach it, then the calling, the trumpets will sound, and you will rise and almost be reborn for the next step in your life. But the Queen, before you can get to this point, it's like when you open your eyes and wake up to start your day, think about how you can be independent and be able to delegate what you should not be carrying. Because she can see that you have been carrying something, and it's almost like you were worried about getting to the end goal here. So let's think clearly and use our best judgment here, so that way we can communicate what it is that we are wanting to tell a person in our life, whether that be a leader or a boss of some kind, especially if you do plan on letting them know that, hey, this role that I have been given, I've tried it out and I'm ready for something else now because I'm trying to prove that I can carry this load. Or this is like, okay, you were putting way too much on my plate and it's affecting my ability to be with those that I love, and I need a reprieve here, or I'm going to have to look for a different opportunity. But you will know that that will be the case because it will be repetitive thoughts, these downloads that you will be receiving. And if someone is not going to be compassionate and listen to what it is that you were trying to say, then there's no point in trying to stay in a career where, maybe others are getting it off easier than you would be. And it's not fair to you. And the Three of Wands, it's like, oh, wow. If I could remember what that crystal was, I would tell y'all. But, so the Three of Wands is letting you know it's a time of growth where you're going inward, because right now you may be hesitating. You may feel as if you may be trying to play it small. Maybe this load that you're carrying is actually really easy to carry if it sticks and not 50-pound weights. And now the Queen has made a judgment call saying that you can take on something else now that could help you grow. So having the courage to step out of your comfort zone, so that way you can actually contribute to the life that you are wanting to have. And this is part of your personal evolution here. We have the Judgment, we have the Ten of Wands, and we have the Three of Wands in reverse, basically saying this is a part of your journey. This was something that you were supposed to be doing, and it's going to help you go through a rebirth where you are leading towards your natural calling. And I know I probably already said that, but there is so much going on in these cards, and I'm trying to focus on all of them at the same time. And that could be what you're trying to do too, is you're trying to make sure all your ducks are in a row, all your bundles are tied together before you turn in what it is that you need to turn in. Now, over here in your heart center, we have the Eight of Cups, and it is upright. So here's the focus here, and then we have the Eight of Cups. If you are single and thinking about your relationship or the relationships you have or have had in the past, right now you may be preferring a timeout so that way you can connect a little bit more deeper with yourself and try to heal any kind of disappointments that may have occurred in your life. And if you are in an established relationship, you may even be contemplating whether or not this is something you want to stay in, especially if you notice that your highest needs are no longer being fulfilled by your partner. You've been picking up quite a bit. You may have been picking up quite a bit of shifts in order to, make ends meet. And this partner may not have been giving you exactly what it is that you needed, and instead they have just been adding on to your load rather than helping you relieve it. And the Queen of Swords is coming in to say this is no longer going to keep happening because you can't even focus at work. You may have wanted to step into a bigger role where you could have been a leader yourself, like the Queen, and your partner may not have agreed with it or wanted you to do that for yourself, for whatever case that may be. So it felt as if they were forcing you from your potential and limiting your ability to strive to be the best version of yourself and get after your own goals. So anytime you find that you're in a relationship and your partner doesn't want you to grow, that is a red flag, and that is not okay. Now, this red garnet, why am I thinking of red jasper, did talk about issues that may have been related to your sex life or the way that you express yourself or explore yourself, especially if you have difficulties of telling your partner, your own specific needs. So this would be a great time if you are walking away from something, then healing that part of yourself and understand that you should have your needs met and should not be denied your needs based off of what someone thinks that you should be doing for yourself or how, you are trying to help another person. But so you may have a lot of pent up energy and it's being expressed in just about everywhere in your life. Then in the back of your mind, it kind of basically goes hand in hand with everything that is leading up from the focus. The Five of Swords, your dreams, or even your subconscious is trying to let you see that there is a lot of conflict going on around you that you may be trying to avoid. Now, Pisces is coming in to say there is a need to not escape from what it is that you are trying to walk away from. There is a need to acknowledge it, to forgive, and if you do not want a specific type of energy in your home, you don't have to let it in your home. And this other person, it does feel like, because I do want to kind of point out, because I noticed this is your energy where you realize something is no longer bringing you the same satisfaction as it used to. So you are taking your cup and leaving it towards a journey where you are going to find those who are like-minded, who do care about reciprocating the same exact type of energy that you are giving. And in your dreams, as you are leaving, you are thinking about how this person, because this is the same character as this person, and you're thinking about how they have betrayed you. You were thinking about how the words they said had cut really deep, and they were not able to make decisions for themselves that would benefit the both of you. So it caused a lot of change and friction in your life. And you recognize that things are unstable when you are with this kind of person, where the only thing they care about is what they are thinking. They only care about what it is they are saying. They may receive information from an unreliable source, which dictates the decisions that they make, especially when it concerns you. And now you are looking into the sea that is, before you, and realize I can go anywhere I want in this direction. Whereas this person is getting lost in the stars and is getting further in the desert. So they're taking these wounds with them as you drop your swords down, so that way you can move forward. And that is where we have the Three of Wands. There may be even a need to explore, to travel, to take a boat. And that's very metaphorical. So taking a boat on a journey and leaving what you need to behind you in here. But don't allow yourself to play it small. If you're worried about how another person views your own growth, if they are not willing to grow themselves, now's a great time to get ready for that battle, if this is for someone who is getting ready for that. But I will say, what you have been working on, or what has been something you have been carrying, has been impacting your ability to be very successful and very independent at work. And now judgment is coming through to help you really listen to these signs that are going on in your life. To clarify the Ten of Wands, we have show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. Show the people that you are innovative and that you can take any kind of information you have and grow it into something that is more sustainable. Now, this is different from inventions or inventing things, because innovation is taking something that has already been invented and making it better. And that is something you are doing. It's like you have all these plans and you're like, I'm about to show the world how to make it a better place. I'm going to do this for myself, and I'm going to do this for, my collective soul family that is here to help me with this mission. And then for the career, we have confidence is your key to success. The more independent you are, and the more that you understand that every kind of obstacle, no matter how big or how small, or how the fact that maybe people are not participating in the same human experience as much as we would like them to participate in the human experience, confidence is your key, and that is how you are going to find that purpose that will help you expand and grow and just be a part of a group. Your Eight of Cups over here in the relationships is communication is key. If you need to step away from something and it is not something that is permanent, and you just need a little bit more solitude time to yourself so you can think more clearly about your future, actually communicate that with those so they don't actually think you are leaving them. But if you are leaving a relationship, make sure that they understand that this is it. The keys are changed. The locks are now dead bolted. And you forgive in your heart, but they have no place in your future other than passing glances. And that's it. And then for the Five of Swords, we have the end of a tough cycle approaches, with conclusions are within your reach. So when the closer you get to this end goal that you have, you will find that things are so much closer. So try not to think about how far you are from this destination where you get to here, but your mind is picking up on this, and your body is feeling this, and those that are around you are also feeling this. So try to be compassionate with yourself as you are going through this. Communicate this information to those at work, or if you are leaving a workplace, make sure that they understand, rather than just throwing in the towel, you are actively looking for something that aligns better with your work schedule and your home life. And, you know, they understand the reason I'm leaving is because I have given you ample time to kind of like either A, help me promote, or B, help lighten the load so those around me can start doing what it is they are being paid to do. The last thing I'm going to leave y'all with, my dears, is a divine feminine and masculine card, and it is feminine energy. Release and let go just a bit and allow yourself to go with the flow. And that's just another clarification here to release and let go just a little bit of what you're carrying. All right, that is your reading, my dears. If you enjoyed this and would love to see more content like this, I try to create a reading every single day, and I have been since January 1st. And that's one of my goals, is to make a video every day until next year. But if you do, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you know anybody that is going through this, please share, because sharing is caring. But I'm going to leave it here, guys. Bye.